Today on the Diz List, we have our 2024 Diz List podcast presidential debate.
Welcome to the Diz List, the podcast that lists everything at Walt Disney World. I'm Nick.
And I'm Rob, and today we are going to do something a little different. We're going to have a 2024 presidential election debate somehow relating to Walt Disney World. Do you want to explain?
Yeah, sure. So, Rob and I are candidates, as we are the only residents of the Diz List podcast.
We've had a few guests through
We're the only
through time.
We are the only residents. However, we do have plenty of people who are voters. They're registered voters, and that is you, the listener.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is we're going to present our candidacy. We're going to debate our candidacy based on 5 items. We have a resort, a snack, a ride, a restaurant, and what am I forgetting?
Restaurant, snack, show,
show,
resort,
yes,
and ride.
Show.
Yeah.
Because shows and rides, they're two different kinds of attractions.
Mm-hmm.
I am running on the modern ticket.
And I will be running on the classic ticket.
And you, the listeners, are going to vote. So this is going to come out the day after.
Yes,
the
it'll come out
actual
Wednesday.
election
The
day.
actual, Tuesdays are the actual election.
So the day after the actual election day. So a little bit less of a consequential election. This one is. This is one for the bring it to the people.
So the winner of the election, I mean, we'll have to have the results by the day that we record, which is going to be the weekend.
We're going to give people until Saturday at midnight.
Okay, that works.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are we going to run every day? We'll just do a vote. It'll just be Rob versus Nick, and then you tally them over the course of a couple days. What's the best way to do it, do you think?
I'm just gonna repost a poll every day.
Okay, and then just add up what we end up having at the end of every day.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, that's cool too.
I don't want to do like a Survey Monkey kind of thing. So,
nah.
So I mean,
this is more fun. So
if you really like one of us, you can stuff the ballot box. If you really like one of us,
or if you have 10 different Instagram accounts like I do, I can go through and vote for myself 10 different times.
I'm gonna vote from like my girls' soccer account. And I'm gonna vote from, so this should be a fun one.
Speaking of girls' soccer. Can I say this quick?
Sure, go ahead.
So, congratulations to Nick and his girls soccer team. They are New York State sectional champions for Class C.
C1.
C1. Yeah. So, Section 5. Yeah. Congratulations to Nick and the girls. His team are champions.
Thank you.
That's
I appreciate that.
Anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in there. That's a big deal. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, thanks. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be champion of this. I'm going to be champion of. I'm going to be president.
That was my next point I was going to get to is whoever wins gets to be the president of the podcast with zero power and authority
for a year.
In name only for 1 year. So I can refer to you or refer to myself as President Rob or President Nick.
Mr. President, point of order.
Yes, we can use that at any point. So I think it's really interesting. Kind of how this unfolded. You and I were talking quite a bit over the last couple of days about how it was going to work. And I think it just sort of accidentally worked out that both of our ticket or platform, so to speak, that we're running on were kind of along the lines with the way that we have enjoyed Disney through the years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a newcomer to Disney.
Right.
You are not. And so as a result, I think that shows in our ticket.
I think we figured out recently that I have been going to Disney longer than you've been alive.
Yeah. And if you could see, the gray in my beard tells you that...
well, we're close in age. It's not like we're that far apart.
Right.
It's a funny stat to think about.
It is a funny stat. I mean, it would be kind of like my daughter saying that to somebody who... Because my daughter went around 3 or 4, and that's basically what you've concluded was your first trip.
Yeah, I would say probably early 80s at some point.
And we're a 4-year difference between the two of us.
Right.
So it depends on when you went in at age 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on when you went, but probably close to at least as long as I.
I would guess it's around there because my sister and I are 3 years apart, and she was born in 1980. So I'm going to guess that that's probably when we started going.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Let's start.
Yeah.
Okay. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to go by our different items. So I will debate first. We'll start with restaurant, and I'm going to say what restaurant that I represent that has to do with not all completely classic. Some you'll see as we kind of go along. So we'll do a few, and we'll kind of argue what we think is going to represent our platform is probably the best term, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So to begin, we're going to talk about restaurant. So the restaurant that I think best represents me and my ticket as the classic party is going to be Ohana. So Ohana is a place that I absolutely love, and Nick loves telling the story about how much shrimp I ate the time that we went there together. It was like, for people who are watching on YouTube, it was like a plate this high of shrimp. It was amazing, by the way.
I'm convinced that if you had saved those shells, you could have made like a massive amount of shrimp stock.
Yeah.
You know, you make stock with it.
Yeah, you put them in the pot.
Yeah. Like, Rob ate like so much shrimp.
It was so good.
It was mildly embarrassing.
Well, and then I ate the other food too, but boy, you had to roll me out of that restaurant. I just love Ohana. Now we've eaten there for it's now called All You Care to Enjoy, right? For that.
Yeah.
We've also had the breakfast there, and new listeners may not know our family. We are a gluten-free family because a few people in our family have celiac disease, so it really didn't change too much of what they offer and what we can eat at that place. And it's really things that are really popular for us in our own family. We just love it there. We love the environment. It's kind of changed a little bit through the years. You know, sometimes they've had characters, and I know more recently they're, try to get people in and out as fast as they can. But it's still, for me, it's incredible food, and I think it really represents kind of that era of Disney in the early 70s. It's sort of a little kitschy, and a lot of things at the Polynesian are, but I think for my restaurant, I would say vote for me, vote for Ohana.
So I want to do this like where we also get a counter.
Great.
So I want to rebut that.
Please do.
Ohana,
I kind of did that to myself already, though.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You opened the door for me. Debate etiquette. You haven't been. Your debate coaches didn't do a good job prepping you.
No.
So they are a people factory, and they churn you out. And the reason you had to roll out that door is because you had to eat so fast because of the way they make you feel. And that's my issue with them. I think the meat there is not as good as it used to be.
Yeah.
The first time I went, I thought it was better. I think I agree with you that the shrimp is good.
Mm-hmm.
The shrimp is good.
Yeah.
That's where the mains stop for me. I think the best stuff on the menu you can get at Tambu Lounge. So for me, that's why I think yours is a little bit subpar.
Sure.
Compared to mine. Mine is Topolino's. So if you've never been to Topolino's Terrace, it is the best of Mediterranean foods. Steaks and pastas and seafood, but not seafood in like the going to like the boathouse. Just very well done dishes that are elegant and elevated.
Tell everybody where it is.
So it's at the top of Riviera. Riviera is one of the newest buildings at Disney. It is, I say one of because it would be the newest, but the new Poly Tower is, it's there. It's not opened yet. The Riviera Resort itself is supposed to be kind of like the Mediterranean feel there. The restaurant is amazing. I've been there for breakfast and for dinner. So just like Ohana that you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
I will say it was probably my favorite character breakfast ever. It's better than Cinderella's Royal Table. The food is phenomenal. It is not cheap, but there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
You're getting really amazing food. It's my favorite restaurant on property for dinner as well. But when you put the two together, it elevates it to a whole new level.
No, I have not eaten.
Amazing.
I have not eaten at that restaurant.
Yeah,
but I fully believe it's fantastic. That's where the characters dress up sort of as artists and sculptors, which is really cool, and that's definitely up my alley too. But to kind of go back to my point, also Ohana has characters sometimes.
And for breakfast, it does.
Yep,
I'll agree.
They have characters as well. I would say though, to make an argument that Ohana has a better view because you have a view of the other resorts and of the Magic Kingdom, and the view at the Riviera is still cool, but it's the view is the Caribbean Beach Resort. So
and
I would
Epcot.
say mine has an edge on that.
And
Epcot, but not as exciting as Magic Kingdom, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. So that's our restaurant debate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Next up, we're going to debate which one, and we're going
snacks.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're doing the food first, and then we'll take a little break, and then come back and do the others.
Sounds good.
All right.
Just so we're clear, snacks.
Yeah.
I want people to understand what we mean. We do not mean snacks that you're purchasing at a restaurant, because there are some that you could do that, right?
Yep. We're talking something that you can get at like a mobile cart or a specific place within the park that is just for that particular snack. Like mine isn't this one, but for example, I think it's called Friar's Nook.
Yeah.
Example is just snacks there.
Right.
Or so not exclusively cart, but there's other places that are exclusively snacks.
Right. These are things you can get you can get them in multiple places throughout Disney World. Mm-hmm. So that's that I think that was kind of one of the requirements. We didn't really say that, but it turned out that that's how we thought.
Now, mine is actually one that is not the easiest to find. There's only a few places around the park where you can get this. And my snack is going to be Dole Whip, the classic, okay? Which I know you like too. So I see this is going to be a hard one for you to debate also. So Dole Whip, the main place where people like to go and get Dole Whip is Adventureland in Magic Kingdom. That's the main spot right there. There's also a secondary place, which is kind of harder to get to, and that's over at Poly if you're just staying at a random resort. It's tougher to get to Pineapple Lanai. That's where they sell it over there. Mm-hmm. The third place that I've had it, and there may be more. I just know there's three. That I've had it before is over in Animal Kingdom, that we've gotten some different fun alternative flavors. The last time we were there, we had like a lime and raspberry Dole Whip that we had.
I've had that one.
It was on the right-hand side before you enter Dino Land.
It is.
There's a little Dole Whip / ice cream cart, whatever you want to call it. It's funny that I went, I was at our, in Western New York, we have Wegmans. I don't know if any listeners are familiar with Wegmans or not, but it's a fantastic grocery store. They actually have, it's different products that are Dole Whip, but I just won't buy it.
I won't either.
I won't. I see it and I go, oh, that's cool. Nope. Yep. Because I want to save it because it's so good and it's so special that I'll only have it when it's there.
I agree. Yeah. Even like, because they sell those, and this is a little bit of an offshoot. It's okay. We're going to go off on a rant here.
Sure.
Not a rant, a tangent.
We do it all the time.
Yeah. Like they sell the Mickey premium bars, and I won't buy them.
No.
I can't bring myself to do it.
No, I think we did it once. I think one summer we just kind of did it for fun, and I don't know, it's just not as
it is.
As
it's not the same. Yeah.
It's not going to drop on the ground, and you walk back up, and the cast member smiles and hands you another one, which has happened. Just another great thing.
At the risk of helping you a little bit, I do believe you can now get Dole Whip over in Disney Springs.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Cool. So that adds another location for you to get it. And, Polynesian, I'm not sure they're letting people in anymore without having a dining reservation.
No, I mean, you not with a car. You're not going to go and park.
Right.
But, I mean, it's...
But if you take the monorail over, you can get in.
Heck yeah.
Because it opens up right at, what's the name of that coffee place? It's offshoot of that restaurant where you had kind of a weird experience.
That's kind of, well... Yeah,
at the Polynesian.
You're talking about Kona?
Yeah, Kona Cafe.
Right, but
so Kona Cafe is where we get the coffee.
No, Kona Cafe is where Kona. It's weird. You would think so. It's not. So there's Kona Island.
Yep,
is the one where you get the coffee.
Oh,
Kona
gotcha.
Cafe is the restaurant.
Okay, makes sense. Because when I think cafe, I think coffee.
And it's on the opposite side. So yeah, like if you go downstairs and like you're going out to the pool,
Yep.
that's where Pineapple Lanai is.
Gotcha.
On
the left, right?
Yeah, they don't restrict you from going, and you're not going to be able to park there, but they're not going to restrict you if you take Disney transportation there. Nah, you're good.
Because you can go to the TTC and walk.
Oh yeah,
which is easy too.
That's real easy.
Yep. So my snack is Dole Whip. What do you have? I was guessing turkey leg.
Yeah, no, not turkey leg. For those of you who are new, the turkey leg was a debacle. So no, it was not that. Mine is a pretzel.
A Mickey pretzel.
I didn't say Mickey.
Oh, just a pretzel.
Because I love the better pretzels. So you're thinking the ones in Germany.
Germany, yep.
Which are okay, but not nearly as good as the pretzel you can get at Baseline Tap House.
Really?
Oh my God.
So
yes,
is it beer battered or extra?
No, it's the
cooked
same
with more butter.
It's literally, so the one you get in Germany is literally the same as the one in Baseline Tap House, except Baseline Tap House it's warmer and it's salted. Whereas the one at Germany is not as warm, if it's even warm.
It's not salted in Germany,
and it's barely salted if it's salted.
Okay,
yeah, it's not.
That's
good.
The best part.
Yeah, it's not as good. I mean, it's good, but not as good as Baseline Tap House. Now, Mickey pretzels are great. You can also get in the Magic Kingdom the extra large pretzel over by. I'm gonna forget now.
I can't help you on this one.
I know you can't. It's over by Little Mermaid. There's a so Journey of the Little Mermaid, and then across the walkway there's a little spot there that you can get snacks.
Is that? Oh, that's not Ariel's Grotto. That's not.
No, it's across from
Ariel's Grotto's on the same side.
Literally across from there, you can get.
Okay.
There's a spot you can get pretzels, and people are in the watching or listening to this and yelling at me that I'm wrong or yelling at me that it's over here or whatever. But there is a place, and they're not Mickey pretzels. Now Mickey pretzels are good. I love Mickey pretzels. I love a classic. It's what we're going to be doing a show we talked about called top 5 guilty pleasures, right?
Yeah.
This like a Mickey pretzel or those general like microwavable soft pretzels are like one of my guilty pleasures in general. It's not a Disney guilty pleasure, but so I do like the Mickey pretzels, but the ones I'm speaking of are the pretzels you can get that are a little bit bigger. They come with the mustard dipping sauce.
That's my next question. You just said it.
Yeah, the mustard and cheese.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of especially if I'm eating it alone, which the one at Baseline, if you eat alone, it's a meal, but is a little bit of mustard and a little bit of cheese. I like a little bit of mustard in my cheese.
That's a weird combo.
No, you put mustard in your mac and cheese. There's powdered mustard there. I guarantee you. Go look up.
I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying that to me that sounds like a.
No, it's got a little bit like I'm not talking about like mixing the two, but a little like you dunk a little bit in the mustard. You take a bite. There's a little bit of residual mustard. You dunk some in the cheese. Trust me, it's so good. So that's my snack is a really good soft pretzel.
Now I don't have a great argument back. I will say this. I don't want to get into the gluten-free stuff a ton, but before I decided that I wasn't going to do that anymore, that I loved having a warm, soft pretzel. It was so good. It had to be covered with salt. I mean, it's hard for me to argue with you other than it's going to come down for people sweet versus savory.
100%.
Which way is it going to be? With or without cheese or mustard. Like when I'm eating pretzels, personally, I like dipping them in, like a chip dip. I'm not sure. I know that they're, but I love
French onion dip.
But I love the buffalo. They make. I don't think it's just Western New York.
No,
but I think it's made by Hell of a Good Cheese.
Yeah,
you know that brand.
Yeah,
they make a buffalo dip. If you haven't tried it, it's awesome.
It is good.
So the little Snyder's gluten-free pretzels that are almost Mickey shaped, that little knot, and I'll dip those in there. I absolutely love it. So that one's my favorite, and I'm not anti-mustard for pretzels either. That's good too. And not cheese, but I don't like the cheese. I like the mustard.
Cheese I'm particular about. It's got to be a very well done, smooth cheese. But as far as the other thing I would add is that there are carts that do like specialty pretzels, like stuffed ones. There's cream cheese with jalapeno, like a jalapeno popper one. But in general, just the general classic pretzel, even though I'm running on the modern ticket.
Yeah.
And that's why, if you notice, I didn't say Mickey pretzel. because these pretzels are a little bit more modern. Because
Right.
Baseline Tap House is where you're going to get,
I feel
in
like
my
this,
opinion, the best one.
this one, they're both items that we really like, so it's hard to really.
And notice I'm not gonna.
Yeah, and I didn't either. And it's,
I'm not never gonna bash a Dole Whip. So,
No, it's
so we can agree. We can just agree which ones.
both are great ones.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But we're gonna head off to the halftime show
Yeah,
here.
we're gonna take a break here.
Yeah, and when we come back, we're going to debate our last 3 items on our presidential ticket. But our halftime and every show actually is brought to you by our patrons over at patreon.com/DizlessPod. Go on over there and check it out. You can join for free. Be added to our close friends list on Instagram so you can get some exclusive content. And of course, if you wish, you can always make a small donation or for a small fee. You get early access to new episodes as well as bonus content. We'll see you after this. Welcome back. Now we're going to debate the next part of our presidential platform.
Yep.
And the next part of our presidential platform are shows.
Yeah, the non-food portion of our,
Correct. We did
our
our
platform here. Yeah.
The food's done.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're talking about attractions. And so with attractions, we had to separate, I felt, shows and rides. So we're going to go into what our favorite shows are.
Yep. Now this is, there's so many ways I can go with this, but I'm gonna go with, and I'm already opening myself up for an argument for you two, because this, as much as it's a classic attraction, it is now equally a modern attraction, and that's Country Bears, which is my favorite show. Okay, Country Bears has always been one of my favorites since I was very little. I talk about it all the time on the show, how much I like the Country Bears. But I feel like it's been around for so long. It's the same characters. They are 80% look the same up on the stage, but they've updated it with a new show. So can it be counted as modern? Sure. But I would say the vast majority of what you're getting is an idea and a concept that is a classic Disney concept. So again, I see it. Easy argument from you, but I just think the Country Bears really represents just kind of Magic Kingdom in a great way. It's a fun ride. It's great music. The characters are so great. And one of the reasons why I really chose this one is it's one of the only places that has consistent walk around characters, which I know is something that you always wish Magic Kingdom has more of. So we can't say they don't, because they definitely do, because the Country Bears are the consistent place where they'll come out, they'll dance with you, they'll give you a hug, you can get a picture with them at any point, you don't have to wait in line, you can do the line dancing or the little hoedown that they always do, which is so much fun. So not only is Country Bears something that is a great show, but it's also this interactive thing that is fun for everybody in all ages. And they come out on the balcony too, and they interact. I remember during COVID when we went, I had this shirt that had a picture of Big Al on it, and I have a picture of me. I walked right up to the edge of the balcony and waved, and Big Al looked down, and I was going like this and showing him my shirt, and he, how they act without saying anything. He went like this and was excited and put thumbs up. And I just think Country Bears is such a classic show that is more than a show. It's become kind of the culture of that part of the park, which I kind of worry about what's going to happen in the future now that they're going to kind of change Rivers of America and put cars in there. But I'm going to say I am 90% sure it really won't change anything that happens with Country Bears. And the fact that they just updated it means Disney is investing money, because for a while, listeners, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, there was a good chance that Toy Story was going to come in and kind of take that place and do some type of similar show. But Disney is going all in on the Country Bears now, in Florida specifically. We'll see what happens elsewhere, overseas and in California, but I think Country Bear culture is here to stay. So my show on my platform, the Country Bear Musical Jamboree. I think they added that in. It's on the poster right here.
Yeah.
Shout out to Eric for that cool poster.
Listen, I'm not going to argue with you about the whole modern thing. So because I think if I put new chairs into a theater, does that make it a modern theater? No. They basically basically plussed up the animatronics and they changed the songs, and that is what it is. So I'm not gonna bang you on that. I'm not gonna really bang the drum on that one. I'm just gonna say that as far as the modernity goes, with they switched it.
Yeah.
You have an entire group of people who are really not happy with what they did.
That is true.
And so
some of our listeners are some of those people.
Yeah, I'll just leave that there.
Sure.
Okay.
That's a fair argument.
My show, though, also has some participation, just like you mentioned. My show is The Lion King, Festival of the Lion King. You go into Festival of the Lion King, you might as well be at a Cirque du Soleil performance or a Broadway-style performance, but theater in the round. I love this show. Now, it's based on an IP that I absolutely adore, that I personally think is one of the best IPs that Disney has, and I think it's wildly underutilized.
I was just going to say that they need to do more of it.
But I will say that what they do have in this show is the best show at Disney. It is. It's the best live action show that you're going to see at Disney. The dancers, the acrobats, the singing, the animatronics, I guess you can call them, and then the puppetry or whatever you want. I don't know what are they puppets? Are they animatronics? I don't even know because you can't tell. They're that amazing. The way that they come out and interact with the crowd, and okay, you guys are the elephants, and you guys are the warthogs, and you guys are. It's just so great. They always involve kids going out at the end and kind of doing that dance around the circle. It's something that has a massive amount of people that can fit in it. Probably 10 times as many people fit in there as Country Bear Jamboree.
Yeah, that's true.
It's lasts a good amount of time, so you can cool off a little bit better than you can in Country Bear Jamboree. And you don't have to worry about the songs going out of style. You don't have to worry about the animatronics clicking because the main feature here are the people. And the people are amazing. So my show is Festival of the Lion King.
You know, this is such a minor thing, but this bugs me, is when I'm at the Lion King, I feel like I'm sitting on bleachers at a football game, and it's so uncomfortable. Country Bears at least has a seat back, which it's kind of a big deal for me.
Isn't it just wood, though?
Yeah, but I just need that seat back instead of just feeling like I'm, in the 300 level in the Buffalo Bills game, which I know you've done. So, I mean, that's a minor thing. The other minor thing was last time we were there, they loaded however many people, 500,000. I don't know how many people seats.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And we got all the way in and sat down and they said, okay, it's canceled, which is, I guess if I'm arguing that, it was just a bad experience I had. But that same thing could happen over at Country Bears if they need to fix one of the animatronics. So it's not like there's a leg up either way. And I absolutely love that show too. It's hard for me to even pick any issues with it other than I feel like I'm sitting on an aluminum bench at a football game, which I don't love. So it was very difficult for me to find a rebuttal back because it's air conditioning, but so is Country Bears, but the length is great. The acrobatics are great. I think the animatronics you're referring to, if I'm remembering correctly, and listeners let me know if I'm wrong, but I think those were parade floats. They were part of a parade that they ended up recycling and using back into the show. I think that's what they used to be.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely parade float style.
But they were in an actual parade,
right.
I think.
No, yeah.
At one point.
I get what you're saying. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're going to move from static places, right? Static in that you're sitting,
yep,
you're watching, to things that move.
Yep.
And so we're going to move on to rides.
Yeah. So let's do rides here. So for rides, again, I'm running on the classic ticket. So, and my favorite ride of all time is a classic ride, and it's the Haunted Mansion. So even though my ride I'm choosing is the Haunted Mansion, which has been virtually untouched, other than the new addition to a couple little things, the projection at the end of the ride, the updating of the hitchhiking ghosts has been changed. There's a few other minor things, but the big one was the addition of the Hatbox Ghost, which some people love and some people don't. I don't care. I think it's awesome. They did a really good job, and I think the one in Florida is a little bit more detailed than the one in Disneyland. But those rides are constantly popular, and not only that one, but Pirates is so similar. So although I'm saying one main ride, which is my favorite, I want people to think of those classic attractions that are timeless. So yes, it is Haunted Mansion, but I'm also going to group in, and you can do the same thing. It's going to be Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, Peter Pan, Jungle Cruise, those rides that have stood the test of time and are constantly sought after. The lines are always long. People want to experience those rides. They're not dated, and if they are in some reason, like in Pirates, or if it's something that's not necessarily appropriate or politically correct, they can make those adjustments. I don't get bent out of shape by that stuff because I don't own the company. I don't own stock in the company. I just see what happens, and I just let it change throughout time. And it's not only Magic Kingdom. I just think the classic rides in general, like a Spaceship Earth, which has changed a little bit. All those that have been around for a long time that are consistently popular. I think Disney does that so well. And to transition to you here, I know obviously you're going to be on the modern ticket. This is a very difficult one for me to debate because I think the best ride, now there's a difference. My favorite ride is Haunted Mansion. I think the best ride is going to be at a different park that maybe you'll mention, maybe you won't. So let's see what you have as far as your modern rides, and see if you mention the one that I think is the best.
Well, I mean, like I said before, I would like to just kind of mention about the classic ticket and the classic rides.
Right.
It's always enjoyable stopping every 30 seconds on the on a mansion. I really enjoy that part of the ride.
I know you're being sarcastic, but I love it though.
I know you do.
It gives me more time on the ride, and I look around and I analyze it.
Okay.
I love that.
Okay.
I do.
Sell that. Sell that.
I love it. Okay. So many times I've stopped on that ride, listened to the entire Madame Leota. I get to hear the entire loop of it.
We've 4 times.
We've stopped when the Doom Buggy goes backwards, and we look off to the right, and we try to see what we can see down in that area. I love it.
I know you do. I know.
It gives me more time on the ride. Cool.
Less time in the park. It's cool.
No, but that doesn't matter when I'm on my favorite thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I get it. Listen, I get it. Yeah. I just wanted to look. I'm trying to win votes here.
I know.
This is ridiculous.
But it's a hard one because the rides I know you're about to talk about, I absolutely love.
Well, and I'm going to be honest, because you've helped me out a few times and talked good things about my stuff too.
Well, it's hard not to.
Right. Look, you know my love for Pirates.
Yeah.
I love that ride.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the minute you threw that in there, I was like, oh, come on. Now I really can't crap on anything because
well, you're looking at like a body of work, so to speak.
Look, you're not wrong. Listen, you prefer the classic rides. I am running on the modern ticket, and I am going to start off with the best ride that exists in all of Disney World and probably all Disney parks, and that is Cosmic Rewind.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And I think, honestly, if we're opening it up to all the rides I've experienced at other parks, I think it's just the best ride that there is.
Listen,
period.
This starts with the queue. The pre-show for this is why modern rides, so you talk about looping stuff in and lumping them in. Think about these modern rides. Rise. You've got Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. You've got Tron. You've got Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railway. You don't start riding the ride when you get in the seat. You start the experience.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately 10 minutes before you get on the ride.
Right.
And that's and I'm not talking about like, oh, there's really cool theming in this queue. I'm talking, there's animatronics talking to you. There's a Ray, there's Terry Crews talking to you and warning you not to stand near the wall. You do not want to be. Trust me, you do not want to be outside of this.
Now,
you don't.
Which ride in the Magic Kingdom also has a classic ride with a pre-show that Haunted Mansion does. You weren't ready for that one, were you?
So,
but okay, I'll argue against myself.
No, you're right. No, you're right.
The reason they have that for the original ride is you get in an elevator and it actually lowers you underneath the track that you can go under the train track in Disneyland.
Right. That's
that
why
was the original use for that. Yeah.
Right. And in Disney World, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't they have two, don't they?
Yeah, there's two, and you don't actually go down. You just go right. You go
and
in.
it's more of a crowd control situation.
Yes.
Which is all pre-shows. I understand that.
Yeah.
But you can't argue with me. Nobody can argue back. There's not a single person who's going to write to me, and you watch because I said that somebody will.
Yeah.
They'll just to be contrarian. But the Guardians pre-shows are amazing. Now Tron's, they're
cool. Guardians is better.
I will tell you right now, Tron.
They're very cool.
Tron's so the room you go in and the windows turn from opaque
to clear.
To clear.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But that effect, a lot of times that I've been on Tron isn't running because I've been lucky and been able to get on Tron really quickly.
Which is good and bad.
Because I got really good boarding groups. But the modern rides, Disney is pushing the envelope. This is why I can't wait for when they do Villains World or Villains Land. Like, what is that? What's going to happen on that roller coaster? What is that going to be like? It appears in artwork that's outside, which I kind of wish it was indoors because then it can run in bad weather. But that's another thing. And what are they going to do? What is it going to be like? What are how are they going to trick us this time? Like, the first time that we went together to ride Guardians, we swore to each other, we're not watching ride-throughs.
I didn't.
We're not watching anything.
Yeah.
We went in there completely blind.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And we walked into that first pre-show, and we're like, wait, what? How? I live vicariously through people every single time when I bring them there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not saying a word, not saying a word. And I was like, said to my brother and sister-in-law this summer, I said, look around at the walls, just pay attention real quick. So we do. I was like, just make sure everywhere we go, you pay attention.
Yes, it's good to do the setup without ruining it. Like,
yeah, I was
cool.
Just like, look at everything,
yeah,
take everything in, and trust me. And they were like, wait, that room is not the room we came into. I was like, nope, it's not. So
we just time traveled.
Yes. So my ride and rides are the modern rides, specifically Cosmic Rewind, Tron, those kinds.
I love them. Yeah, they're so good. Like, again, it's
tough to argue.
Yeah, you pick what you prefer, I guess. Here, we just have a quick one to end on here, and that's going to be the resorts that we like. That's our last one.
We did food, we did rides or attractions, and now where are you going to stay?
It's a hard one because for me, see, I love the Polynesian. I think the Contemporary is cool. Those are both such classics. But I think the one that appeals to me the most, and I haven't actually stayed there, but I will watch video after video of walking around inside the Wilderness Lodge. I just think it's so cool. I love it. And I realize we live in New York, and I can drive a couple hours and be in a similar lodge, like probably one of the closest places we can get to is probably Old Forge. If any listeners know where Old Forge is, it's kind of a touristy place at the kind of bottom left-hand corner of the Adirondacks, which, Nick is actually from that area. I'm just using that as kind of a quick example. But
the Wilderness Lodge is it's very much like what we in the Adirondacks, they call them great camps.
Sure.
And so a great camp had a central lodge, and then a lot of times they had like little offshoots, like people might call them guest houses.
Yeah.
But like where members of the extended family would stay. But yeah, 100%. Great camps.
I think the reason that it appeals to me so much is it's another nostalgia thing, because growing up, besides going to Orlando and going to Disney, we would go to Old Forge and go camping. So that whole look and vibe of the rustic and the logs and everything being sort of, I guess, finished / unfinished wood, if you know what I mean. I don't know. It just appeals to me so much. And so does Polynesian. But I think the reason I pick one over the other is because Polynesian kind of already fits in with Florida for me. And this is kind of like something exciting and different in this tropical area. So it's something from the north, only in the south, if that makes sense.
It does.
The food there, and I haven't stayed here. I have to be transparent. I have not, and I want to. But the restaurants serve all my favorite types of food, meats and burgers, steak, all that kind of like, we'll call it bar food, so to speak.
It's hearty.
It's very hearty. It's very much Western New York, buffalo style, meats and
Rust Belt.
Correct. That kind of food, which I really love, and a lot of those things we can eat because they are more along the lines of gluten-free food. So again, I know this is kind of goofy, and I want to be very clear. Haven't stayed there, but I want to more than any of them. And then it's not. When was it? Early 90s. It was probably
1994.
Okay, so that's about 30 years, Mr. Math.
It's 30 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I could probably do that math on my own.
I mean, it's 2024, Rob. So yeah. Wow. Okay.
Let's see.
Let me get my calculator out.
Yeah. Not my forte.
That's okay.
That's okay. I'm good at other things.
All right.
So I'll review my ticket at the end, but you go ahead.
Okay. So I'm not going to attack the fact that you haven't even stayed there.
Well, it's fair if you do.
Nah, I'm going to look. You made the point for me. I don't have to.
And I was transparent about it, and I think that I have to be.
And I have to be transparent about mine.
Mm-hmm.
I will stay at mine many, 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 many times. I've been there multiple times already, and mine is the Polynesian. Now, before I heard a breath.
Because that was going to be my classic. It's one of the oldest.
It is
1971.
Sure. And I am a DVC member, and guess what? Polynesian has not been DVC for very long.
Yeah.
And they have these new things called bungalows.
Yep.
Newer things called bungalows, but the newest kid on the block is the Island Tower, which, by the way, hasn't even opened yet. So you want modern?
Yeah.
How about something that doesn't open for another 2 months?
It's a tough one to argue. I mean, it is.
Or 1 month.
It is such a classic resort, but this puts the most interesting spin on it because now it's hybrid. Because it is classic, it is kitschy, it is so 70s tiki culture, but then now there is the most modern. And a lot of people think it was gonna be ugly, and some people do think. But I think it works. I mean, did you see this week that they showed the little Moana statue that's gonna go down there? Like, kids are gonna love it.
So this week, my DVC it's called Disney Insider. It's like a DVC thing. Magazine you get every month or quarterly, and it had pictures of the new studios. It's super modern, and you remember we stayed in updated rooms.
Yep.
And they didn't look like kitschy on the inside.
No, it was really nice.
So I get what you're saying.
Yep.
But the kitsch is great, but you also have the modernity and food. You talked about food. Hey, Mr. President, Mr. Presidential Candidate.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, what was your restaurant again?
Yeah, Ohana.
And where is that located?
Yeah.
And what was your favorite snack?
My favorite snack was also something that was located there, but I didn't feel like I could choose that because of now how it's so modern on that one side. I think it takes it out of it for me.
Well, look, all I'm saying
doesn't make me like it less. It's moving into the modern category.
Yep, it is. And it's amazing. The food is great. You do not get a better quick service at a resort.
Captain Cook's.
I've
eaten everything on the menu.
And one of the, I would say, second best pool bar personally. Best one's over at Beach Club. But second best pool bar is over at the Quiet Pool. And then you have the Tiki Lounge. So you've got Trader Sam's, which is like a tiki lounge. You've got Tamboo Lounge. You have where you can get food from Ohana. You have Ohana. You've got Kona Cafe. You've got Kona Island. You've got also really great shops. I'm telling you. And the transportation's better. It's best there.
Monorail. Yep.
And the view is the best.
That's a tough one. I'm going to lose some votes on that one, I think.
The Poly is my resort.
So let me review my ticket here. So for the classic party, here's what I want everyone to vote for. So we have Ohana as the restaurant. We have Dole Whip as the snack. We have Country Bears as the show. We have Wilderness Lodge as the resort. And the ride is Haunted Mansion.
And for the modern ticket, what we're going to run with, we've got for our food, for our restaurant, Topolino's Terrace, for our snack, pretzel. Specifically the bigger pretzels, not the Mickey pretzels, but the Mickey pretzels are great. Then we go to our show is the Festival of the Lion King. Our ride is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. And lastly, to bring it all together, the resort is the Polynesian.
The modern Polynesian. Which
look, hey.
I know it is.
You can say what you want.
I wish I could have picked that, but now I don't feel like I can anymore because they just modernized it.
Look, I mean, in the end, this is like an activity I actually do with my students. We do usually before big breaks. If I'm ahead of schedule, we do Mount Rushmore activities. Where it's like, all right, kids, we're gonna go off to Thanksgiving, so let's do the Mount Rushmore of Thanksgiving foods.
Cool.
And they do like 4 people, and we'll do a snake draft, and they have to pick, and then it's like vote on who's got the best meal.
Cool.
So what we want you to do as listeners is we want you to vote. We're gonna post stuff on our social media. We want you to vote on whose is the best. Now, comments are great, but your vote does not officially count unless you actually go to the story and push the little button.
Yeah, press that button. And you're not going to vote on our individual categories. You are voting for Rob or you're voting for Nick.
The collective ticket.
Yes.
And I will post in the stories, here's the modern party. Here's the classic party.
Yep.
And then vote.
And we will reveal the winner.
Yep, next week.
I mean, do we reveal the winner first on Patreon and then we reveal it and then those people have to keep it a secret until the following Wednesday?
I mean, we can do that if that's something you want to do, but
yeah,
I was thinking about, okay.
Yeah.
It'll be a long vote count.
Okay.
All right, we can do that. It'll be something special. Next week's episode for Patreon can be our
the vote count.
The presidential reveal.
Yeah, but the people can't spoil it for everybody.
Yeah. Maybe by then you can figure out the presidential song that you were trying to do.
Oh my gosh.
Where it was changing instruments. But thank you guys so much for listening.
Now you're going to make me try to see if I can do it again.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for listening. If you haven't yet, go check us out over on Instagram at DizlessPod. On YouTube, DizlessPod. If you're watching us, thank you. If you're not watching us, go check that out and give us a subscribe and a thumbs up. And then, of course, you want to go over to patreon.com/DizlessPod for some bonus content and early access to new episodes. But it's a great big beautiful tomorrow. Tomorrow's just a list away.
Tune in next time and we'll see you real soon.